Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a program about the services and functions of Monmouth County government. I'm Director Tom Arnone, your host for the segment of Monmouth in Focus. Monmouth County is committed to a small businesses community, and we are excited to highlight some of them and the incredible services they offer. Visitors, residents alike. Today, I'm joined by Brian Harris, who is a pharmacist and co-owner of Middletown Family Pharmacy in Belford. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Of course.
So, what do how's business going?
Lately, pretty good. At the beginning of the pandemic, it was a little scary,
Sure.
but so far, so good right now.
So, I guess the biggest question that's probably always asked is,
Yeah.
we have these big, large chains, and then you have the personalized family type of pharmacy,
Yeah.
smaller pharmacy. So, what do you think are the advantages and maybe even some of the disadvantages, if there is any, there? Which I'm sure you're going to say there's not, and I don't blame
I'll try to
you.
be fair.
So,
Yeah.
what's your feeling on that?
I've worked at both, so
Okay,
I
great.
can speak on the subject, actually. It's night and day on my end. I can't imagine that it doesn't translate to the customer experience on their end as well. I used to travel 40 minutes down south, and now I travel about 5 minutes to my job.
That's a nice
so
feeling.
I'm a member of the actual community, and so are most of my
know you.
staff. People know me. We actually care. We know what people need in our area. It's a whole different
And
experience.
there's nothing better to a person, especially in your field, where, let's face it, most of the time they're coming because they don't feel good and come to get a prescription or something
Yeah.
to that effect. To know that they could talk to the person, ask them a question, and speak to them. So, besides maybe a passion that you had, what
Yeah.
made you become a pharmacist?
So I kind of just fell into it, to be honest with
Really?
you. I was in high school. I read a thing in, I think, Time magazine just saying it was a good idea. Went and got a job at the local Pathmark in the pharmacy, stuck with it. Went through college, liked it, and here we are. Simple
So,
as that.
I probably in your wildest dreams, you never anticipated to go through and try to redirect the way you function in business, and then the pandemic came.
I never imagined I would own an independent pharmacy, to be honest.
Right.
I spoke the words out loud in pharmacy school that I would never do it. Changed my mind, I guess. So yeah, it was quite a
And
surprise
thank
to
you. As
adapt. Oh, yeah.
being an official of Monmouth County, we need small businesses.
I love
It's the
doing it
backbone.
now.
It's the backbone
yes.
of our county.
Thank
and
you.
So how did the pandemic affect your business?
It was a huge struggle at the beginning. Was not ready at all. There was full lockdowns. I'm sure you remember.
Oh, yeah.
We were open during the lockdowns, so we were doing curbside. It was scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I had to be, and so we went through the process, and I know the county, obviously through our Board of Health, we offer some of the services probably that you offer.
Oh, yeah.
From testings and vaccines. So, how did you administer it? How did you control it? How did you get staff to be there? 'Cause
Yeah,
that was
sure.
tough.
It
That had to be
absolutely
very
was
tough there. So, how did you able to manage that?
Yeah, so
process?
we, thank goodness, have a nice network of other pharmacies in the area, independent pharmacists that work part-time, full-time, whatever. So we called upon our friends, they called upon their friends. I had a pharmacist come in part-time, so I could pretty much full-time do testing in the fall of, 2020.
So did that
yeah.
concern you when you were doing the testing?
Of course it concerned me. Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
I bet it did.
Oh, yeah. I still do testing, and
Wow.
it still scares me, to be honest with you, but
So,
it's worth it.
what is like the affiliation with your pharmacy and others, and how do you work together, or
So,
do you work together?
I mean, we have a few pharmacies in the area. I have a business partner, Richard
Yeah.
Stryker, over at Bayshore Pharmacy. I couldn't do this without him. So
And so, how do you guys make out? What's your affiliation with your partner that he?
yeah,
works
so
with?
I mean, we're co-owners. We also have other friends, Hazlitt Pharmacy, Little Silver Family Pharmacy. We're all part of a Good Neighbor Pharmacy network.
That's
So
great.
we help each other out. We're a good community, helping each other out with whatever we need.
So that
competing
you
with the
brought up
chains.
a great point because you're not, and I'm not going to name names of the larger business. I don't think that's fair. But the larger chains, you very rarely you're going to get them to do what you just said with the small businesses working like a family
Right.
environment, a partnership environment, and protecting each other's interests. Because at the end of the day, those big, box chain pharmacies, they have a very big ability financially to make it very difficult for you. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you guys see a little of that sometimes.
And that is how we compete, to be honest, is by working together.
Wow,
It's-
that's
yeah.
amazing. So, you had to pick a place and a time to go or area to go, and so obviously Monmouth County
Right.
was the place that you chose.
Yeah.
So what do you think the advantages of, besides being very busy here, which would mean
Sure.
very people, not everything's coming to a pharmacist when they're sick, I would imagine, right? I mean,
there's other reasons,
There's
sure.
other reasons. And so besides that, what made you pick Monmouth County,
So-
and what's the benefit
Yeah.
of being in Monmouth County?
I was born and raised in Middletown.
Okay.
Born in Red Bank, then Middletown. Moved to Asbury Park and then moved back to Belford to be by my business. So I've never left Monmouth. Well, I went to college at Rutgers. I didn't leave
Okay.
New Jersey, but I didn't leave Monmouth County. I love it here. To be honest
So
with you.
would you ever think of, and I know you have a partner, would you ever think of expanding in another location? Maybe not the location you're at. As you know,
Yeah.
we have 4 different regions, from the western part of the county, the shore, the Bay Shore, the 2 rivers, all those parts. Would you ever think of?
He and I are big talkers and talk about stuff like that. Our wives are going to kill us, but
Right.
we do talk about it.
Well, it's important because, as I said before, majority of our businesses are employees of 100 and less. So it's important for us, and I hope you guys feel that way. And I don't really get to talk to the pharmaceutical
Fair
type
enough, yeah.
stores as much as I do the restaurants and stuff like that. But yeah, it's important to know that I hope you feel that we support our small
I do,
businesses.
I do.
And and we try
here.
to. Yes,
Yeah.
and we tried to during the pandemic. There, as much as we can. They made things difficult. And I'll be the first one to say, the state made things a little difficult for all our businesses, and our goal was to try to streamline it and to assist them there. And even shows like this, where we bring businesses here,
Right.
we have a big network. It gets out there,
Right.
and so hopefully,
Yeah, much appreciated.
Hopefully, your business will thrive from
That's
it.
the idea,
And,
yeah.
but
would
I personally, as a leader here in the county, want to thank you for sticking it out.
All right, I
Because
appreciate
I'm sure
that.
there's many times, and many times, even if business is great, you go home at times and say, "This just isn't worth it." And
I'll never admit to that.
and I thank you for
And we're
that.
not going anywhere.
So I want to thank you so much for being part of our show
Thank
and
you.
showcasing your business. I mean, you're not just talking for yourself. You're talking for those other small
course,
businesses
yeah.
that are here that do the same function you do here. You're promoting them, and that's very important. So I want to thank you and good luck. And
Thank you
anything
again.
you need from the county, please reach out to
Will
us.
do.
So
Sure
I want to
thing.
thank everyone for joining us on Monmouth in Focus. This is a show of county function and government, and in this segment, we're talking about the support that we have for our small business. Thank you, and I'll see you at the next segment.